Good morning and welcome to day 4 of our 5 days of heartfelt gratitude. I'm really excited about today's lesson. In each of these lessons, I'm trying to give you, my intention is to give you access to gratitude in ways that you may not have thought of before. So that's why we're kind of working through these different life areas and just opening up as many new neural pathways as we can so that you've got a network of gratitude inspiring thought patterns available to you. So today we're going to talk about gratitude for the people in your life. Now in the worksheet I've done a whole page of expression before I get you to do anything, because I understand, good morning Jennifer, I understand that where each and every one of you that is participating in this 5 days of gratitude, whether it's right now or by listening to the recording at some other stage. Good morning, Debbie. I know that each and every one of you is in a different situation with regards to your personal relationships. Some of you might have a really close, helpful, loving family living nearby and have a lot of support from them. Some of you might not have that or have ever had that. Some of you might have, a very supportive partner that celebrates you and helps you practically and emotionally. Some of you may not have that and may have never had that. So I'm not going to be talking about gratitude for the people in your life with this assumption that we've all got access to the same things, because we don't. So we're going to talk about gratitude for the network of people that support you in a way that you may not have thought of before. And if you have thought of it before, well then fantastic, you're having a refresher and you're lightening up, you're sending an energy through your neural network, your brain waves that help you to feel more grateful. So our exercise for today is to think about a thing in your life, so a product or I'll go into examples in a second, and we're going to really feel into gratitude for everything that went into you having that thing. So maybe you've got, I don't know, years ago now, but I put a new carpet into my lounge room, right? So let's imagine for this exercise, I was going to choose the carpet in my lounge room. What we're going to do is feel into that. I just remember it was such a massive improvement on the carpet I'd had in there before. I would kind of take my socks off and feel it, and I just felt so grateful for it. And it represented, a willingness to invest in myself and a difference in my financial circumstances and things like that. So it just was wonderful. But if we were talking about that carpet, think about everything that went into that particular moment where I got to lay that carpet. Well, someone came and laid that carpet into my house. There were, going back throughout time, carpet was invented. People used to have, they had rugs, so people invented weaving, and carpet is kind of the end result of a whole lot of lines of creativity throughout the world. So first of all, gratitude that carpet exists, and it didn't just manifest out of nowhere. It came off the efforts of thousands of people throughout time pushing the edge of creativity and creation. So how awesome that it's so easy to choose carpet now, but it didn't just come into being out of nowhere. Then there was the farmers that were involved in, raising, the sheep that contributed their wool to my carpet. It's not 100% wool, so there's other scientists or other people involved in creating synthetic fibers, and then there's the people that were able to join those two things together. There's the people that do the dyeing of the carpet. There's the people that make the kind of the mat underneath. And for all of these steps, there's a lot of transport. So, grateful for how all of these pieces came together and were transported from one place to another. And then there's obviously whoever started the company that I bought my carpet from. I know what it's like to run a company. You put a lot of your own skin in the game and your life on the line. You invest not your life on the line, but your livelihood. We put a lot of money into running a business. Good morning, Ainsley. And it takes a grit and a commitment to stay in business. So, I mean, I bought my carpet from somewhere that had been in business for a long time. So just how much gratitude could I have that on those, those years where it was a bit lean, that they just kept hanging in there so that I could eventually use their services. Businesses, hello, are not for the faint-hearted. You've got to be very committed to the goal that you want to achieve. And then there was the man that came and laid the carpet, right? And I could go on and on and on because we could talk about trucks and all sorts of things. So what I want you to do is pick something that you love having in your life. It might be your favorite mug. This is my favorite mug. This has been featured, I think, this is the second time in these 5 days, but I do love that mug. You might think about your coffee. Like, I buy this beautiful fair trade coffee because I love thinking about supporting people. I love thinking that there's a more direct line in supporting the people that grow this product that I love. You might think about your glasses. A lot of creative, inventive, amazing people have led to these being so freely available. So I want you to pick something that you really love. It might be a piece of music, it might be a piece of art, it might be part of your house. I've gone through this process with my ducted heating because I am so grateful that I can just move a switch on my wall and my house becomes warm. I just think that's so amazing. I've actually gone through this process with lots of things, and it just helps cultivate that network, that neural network of grateful thoughts, and also helps you to really connect to the fact that even if you are living alone and maybe you feel a bit alone in your life, you are actually part of a living network of people that support you. And that's a pretty awesome thing. I think being open to that and being grateful to that, or whether you're open to it or not, it exists. You know that you can walk out onto a street and a bus is going to be there, do you know what I mean, to take you where you want to go if you're waiting at a bus stop, at the right time. And there's a whole lot of infrastructure that goes into that. When I was thinking, I redid this exercise this morning just to be fresh on how good it is before I got online with you, and I chose to be grateful for my EFTPOS machine. Oh, I'm with Westpac. There we go. They're not funding me for this. I don't know. But anyway, that's my EFTPOS machine, which makes it really easy for clients that want to pay with a credit card, or it's mobile. So I can go, when I did my book launch recently, I had a couple of them because I had 2 product tables, but this just runs and people can buy books and use their card, and it makes life easier. But there's a whole lot of infrastructure that goes into that. There's phone lines and internet and infrastructure of bank employees and all sorts of things. So that's what I did this morning, and it was really amazing to think about the network of people that were doing their work in the world that supported me to then support other people to make their life easier in accessing my products. So I'm going to task you with spending 5 minutes. Set yourself a timer. Pick one thing and make sure you know what that one thing is before you start your 5 minutes. And I want you to feel into throughout time. So a lot of the things we use came off the back end of a lot, like hundreds or thousands of years of trial and correction and invention and things. I love thinking about that rich history of how we got what we now have. You might think about over time, and also think about what went into what you are feeling so grateful that you have in your life. So I've got some instructions for this in the worksheet if you want to download it. I've made some suggestions. So it might be a reliable car, might be stovetop or your oven if you love to cook, might be the hot chocolate container in your cupboard. So just pick anything and just, take that 5 minutes to think about every single step that you can think about, and there'll be more that you haven't even thought about, for that item to be invented, created, grown, harvested, completed, transported, and ending up in your life, and all the people whose efforts went into making that possible. This is and so what will happen is you'll think of the really obvious things, and at some point around the 2 to 3 minute mark, you might, or the 1 minute mark, who knows, you might run out of that really obvious stuff. And that's where you need to really think about, okay, well, what infrastructure is involved? Did I use the phone in terms of getting this product into my life? Did I use the internet? Did I, what did I do, and who was involved in that? So think about the infrastructure. Do I use electricity for this thing? And obviously there's a whole lot of history and infrastructure involved in that. So we're talking about gratitude for the human beings who have been going to work each day like most of us do, but contributing to your life. I want you to feel that network. Now and take 5 minutes to do it. And I would love to hear the thing that you choose to work on, because it can be anything, as I'm sure you're getting the idea. And I'd love to hear the wackiest. I'd love to hear the most surprising part of that piece that you've never thought about before, that you can feel grateful for, because so many human beings support your life, so many. And you know what? You support the lives of so many in whatever you do. Some of us can see the direct result of our work, and some of us go to work and we don't necessarily understand the accumulating benefit of what we do, what we give to the people in our workplace, and what they then go on and give. But all of us are single drops in the flood of change that's happening throughout the world. More and more people are waking up and feeling into their power to create change, to be the change they want to see in the world, which is not my quote, but I love that one. So I want you to take 5 minutes and just feel how much support there is in your life, and feel so grateful for every single part of it. Every person that got up in the morning and did their thing, whether it was driving or farming or dyeing or inventing or being at the shop or answering the phone or fixing the phone lines or whatever it is, and just feel that net. Now, I know for most of you that are following my work, you understand that we're actually holistic beings. We are a mind, body, a heart, and a soul. We're not just a meat sack. So this exercise is more, that three-dimensional gratitude. It tends to be in the three-dimensional physical, practical world that we feel alone and unsupported. And so it's so useful to train your brain to see this network of support that's around you and feel grateful for it. Because, like we talked about yesterday, cultivating an attitude of gratitude isn't just about that kind of surface happiness hit of feeling better in the moment, even though that is a really good thing to know how to do and have access to, and it's free because you've got your mind and your ability to focus with you all the time. It is that, but it's also the accumulating benefits. It's also the difference between how you act in the world when you feel grateful. There's a magnetic nature to that. It opens up pathways. How we think and how we feel generate how we act and how we respond to other people. And so it is about gently stepping into a new way of being that will open up new ways of being and acting and new opportunities. And I'm talking about even just three-dimensional opportunities in terms of your work and your relationships and those things that sort of support you. The more grateful you are for the support that exists in your life, even if it's just that you can walk to your local shops and someone will be there that you can get whatever you want, the more you feel gratitude for that network of support, our thoughts and feelings are magnetic. Do you know what I mean? What we send out and what we bring back in literally is manifesting our life experience. And so I want you to feel that gratitude for support, because you will then bring in more support. And none of us is meant to be doing this life journey alone. You know, there's a reason we didn't all get our own planet. We're meant to be here learning, growing, supporting, celebrating, and inspiring each other. We're meant to. And so I just want to, in my heartfelt gratitude right now in this moment, I just want to thank you for being here in a place where I can support you, because that's what I love to do. And I'm so grateful that you're here. And I really want you to feel the support that's available from me and from every other element of your life. So thank you so much for tuning in this morning. Please do the exercise on the worksheet, or if you don't have access to a printer and you can't print it out, just do it yourself. Just take 5 minutes, pick one thing, and just open up to the flood of gratitude for the support in your life, making these easy unconscious decisions so possible that we can flick a kettle on and make our cuppa in the morning. So many human beings are involved in your ability to be able to do that, and how lucky are we? Oh, thank you so much for all that smiley love, heart love coming up through my screen. It's fun when you do live videos like that. Thank you so much for joining me. For those of you watching the replay, just put in a hashtag replay and let me know that you're watching, and obviously ask me any questions or just give me some feedback so I know that what I'm sharing is landing. It's quite an interesting way to teach this, which is very one way, particularly when I'm so used to speaking to audiences and running groups, that are in front of me, or at least I've got video in front of me so I can see and interact. So this one way of sharing information, I really need, or I would really appreciate for you to just feed back to me and just let me know, is what I'm saying making sense? Am I moving too fast? Am I moving too slow? Is it useful? How much more gratitude are you able to access based on the fact that you've tuned in? So thank you so much for giving me your time today. And thank you to all of you that came live. Thank you to all of you watching the replay. Tag me in any questions so that I can answer you back. And tomorrow is day 5 of our 5 days of gratitude. So enjoy, and thank you so much. Wishing you a soul deep, happy day from my heart to yours. Yeah.